Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly interview show where I learn a little bit more about somebody else's perspective on movies. And this is a very special episode where I got about 10-15 minutes to chat with Loren Waters, a filmmaker whose new film, Tiger, a documentary short, is the story of an Indigenous award-winning, internationally acclaimed artist and elder, Dana Tiger. So please enjoy the interview. And I appreciate you taking the time to chat and would love to talk to you a little bit about your film, obviously Tiger. Um, if I could get started with, if you could tell me a little bit about how this project came about for you telling the story of Dana Tiger.
Yeah, well, first of all, love your background. It's really awesome.
Thank
Love
you.
movies. Yeah, so this film came about very serendipitously. Tiger, is a short documentary about Dana Tiger, an elder in my community, and
Mm.
we met on season 2 of Reservation Dogs, which is a TV show on Hulu that we made here in Tulsa. And I was doing the extras casting, and Sterling Harjo, the creator of the show, wanted her on, and we met and just really connected. And I was really drawn to her art and how she painted Native women, and was just really inspired by her. She's like the happiest person you'll ever meet. Like her energy is just very grounding. And so, yeah, we became friends and spent, a year and a half like getting to know each other. And then I had a camera package in between jobs and wanted to take the opportunity to learn more about her story. And so we took the camera and filmed with her on a whim. And it was the first day that they were silk screening their Tiger t-shirts again since 1990 on that exact day, which was really crazy for us. And I was like, well, I think now we actually have to make a film about this. And so that's kind of how it all came about.
Awesome. And I'm a huge fan of Reservation Dogs, and it's a great show. And that's such a awesome experience being able to connect over a project and then, building off of that and being able to make this film. And it's a very dynamic experience, mixing a lot of music and hearing directly from Dana and all this archival footage. What was the motivation for the approach that you took in terms of bringing Dana's story to life?
Yeah, so while the first day of shooting was very like on a whim,
Mhm.
I took that and I went back and really thought about how I can make this intentional and feel like Dana's spirit in every frame. And so my cinematographer and I, Robert Hunter, really mainly was just us on this project, and we went around her house and talked about like
Mhm.
different spaces and how we can showcase Dana's personality in the little things. So even down to her interview style, she's very eclectic, and I asked her if she'd be comfortable doing her interview on a diving board, and she was so
Yeah.
into it. And she's an artist herself, so I think she really
Mhm.
appreciated the process of being a filmmaker and storyteller, and letting us, experiment with her on what the film could look like. So taking all of those portraits and putting them together with some archival footage of her family that we found after digging through her house for hours, um, that I think really brought the film to life when you see like her family dancing and having fun, and
Mhm.
then the archival photos of the t-shirts and the business and how it brought so much community together and success and love for each other. So yeah, and then of course, like, even down to the music, we incorporated a Muskogee Creek hymn by one of Dana's best friends in the beginning and the end of the film, and then interwove like some original score throughout
Mhm.
and really leaned on the music to drive the emotion.
Absolutely. And obviously capturing that artistic vibe and presence that Dana has. I thought it was an interesting little choice to have her like leaning on that diving board and us like talking feeling like she's talking right to us as the audience and taking us through her story. It was very engrossing and really set that mood for that experience. I guess to ask you, Lauren, did you have a whole lot of experience with Tiger t-shirts and stuff like that beforehand, or was this something that you got to explore through telling Dana's story?
So I had seen the shirts in our
Hmm.
community before just through, her being Muskogee Creek and coming from a family of
Mm.
artists. Her family's artwork has been around for decades and
Yeah.
generations. And Sterling had put Wes Studi in one of her tiger teas in the show, and they kind of live in like different universes. And even
Mm.
on the new show that he's doing called The Lowdown, Ethan Hawke wears a tiger tee. I think it's in episode 2 and 3. So it's really
Mm.
cool. And you could just see all of her artwork everywhere in the show. Um, it's cool to see it live in multiple dimensions. And I think I didn't realize the depth of the story. And while it is a t-shirt and that kind of brings us through, like it's the anchor almost along with Dana. It's so much more than that. And I was
Yeah.
able to explore the meanings behind, like all the shirts have names and as they're paintings that are originally on the shirts. And we recorded Dana whispering all the names of those t-shirts and had that interlaced as sound design throughout the film, as well as her family members' names. And one of the things that I've learned from Dana in our friendship is that she's really great at finding meaning in everything. And I think
Mm.
that's kind of like a great reminder about what life is about, is even in the mundane and in all the alignment that we experience in our lives, it's really important for us to find the hope and be able to continue on, even though we might experience the loss of our family members or, some of the things that Dana has been through, but being able to find meaning in what we do as humans. And through for her and her family, that was art. And art really was something that saved her family and saved her life. And so it's great to see the t-shirts being revitalized now.
Absolutely. And you could definitely feel that idea of passing that legacy forward and that art forward in the film. And it's very powerful in terms of that. And it's also an interesting note. I've been watching The Lowdown every week, and now I feel like I have to go back and check out those episodes and, seeing how this still, through other artists is being shared through their art and through their stories. And this was certainly a very interesting and enlightening story, especially if it's a low investment. It's only about 13 minutes or so, and really hearing this wonderful story. I always love to ask filmmakers to wrap things up when I get to talk to them about their project. But Lauren, what's if you could pick that one thing to tell people why they should check out Tiger, what would that be?
Man, yeah, that's definitely a tough question. I think people should check out this film because I believe they'll be pleasantly surprised at the ability to connect to someone that you would have never had the opportunity to connect with. Dana being an Indigenous woman
Mm.
who is an elder and has Parkinson's, being able to learn about her experience and her story and her family is something that is very unique and also, I think, relatable to a lot of folks who I think as a human, we all go through grief at
Yep.
some point in our lives. It's just inevitable. And I think that we can all take something away from the way that Dana has approached grieving of her family members. And I think that's by keeping them close. And so um, I would say watch it because of that. Maybe folks will learn something about how to navigate grief from Dana's story.
Well, and absolutely. And it definitely shows in terms of that very relatable connection to family and expression. And I feel very lucky that I got to experience Dana's story through your art as well, Lauren. So I really appreciate your time. I hope people go check out Tiger and, build that connection through art and hear a really, really moving and powerful story about somebody who's really made an impact. But
Yeah.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. Thank you so much. And we're doing an Oscar campaign, so that's, we're on the screening trail and super
So
excited to bring this to wider audiences.
I'll be very excited to hear when they announce award nominations and everything if they say Tiger. So I'll
Right.
be definitely keeping an ear out for that. But thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Shane.